Hi, this is Marcus.
This is Florian.
And this is Paul.
Paul isn't feeling well. I'm not feeling well at all.
Paul is about to suffer sudden cardiac arrest. Once this has happened, he needs medical attention.
Immediately.
Ta-da! Let's get Jack and Jill out. To make things easier for them, I'll turn Paul on his back. Jack and Jill go to the patient and say, "Hello, can you hear me?" Paul's obviously not answering because he has suffered sudden cardiac arrest. Jack and Jill, of course, immediately begin with CPR. Abigail joins them. She's our emergency doctor and has the corpuls.3 with her. You split it into 3 parts. The big advantage is that she doesn't have to carry around 3 separate pieces all the time. She only uses the part that she needs. In this case, it's the patient monitor, from which she learns, oh, Paul's got ventricular fibrillation. Not good. Marcus, what's that?
How should I explain? Do you know what a Mexican wave is?
Yeah.
If everything was normal, his heart would beat in a cycle that starts in the artery, runs through the cardiac chamber, and then back to the artery again.
Like a Mexican wave.
This is called the cardiac cycle, and that's also how a Mexican wave moves through a stadium.
Okay.
Ventricular fibrillation means that everyone just jumps up.
Like in school.
Right.
And what exactly does this defibrillator do?
That. I made all the figures jump in the same direction.
I'd say they're just lying all over the place.
Ultimately, a defibrillator is like a big clap that makes all the heart muscle cells jump, which then makes them all do the same again.
What's next?
Call the helicopter.
Helicopter 112. Come in, please. In here there's space, because this is a toy. The HEMS DC also comes over and has a look. But in a real helicopter, space is limited. Jill has to be able to stand up to reanimate him. In there she can't.
And in the ambulance?
It's possible, but what if the ambulance suddenly has to brake? You won't be standing then.
Probably.
So we solved this problem by building a device.
Yes, this device.
That's the corpul CPR.
Mechanical thorax compression.
We're convinced
Good start.
that this is one of the best devices on the market, and it works with children ages 8 and up, which is irrelevant in Paul's case because Paul is old. But using the device on Kevin would be possible. Do children actually experience sudden cardiac arrest?
With children, we're mostly dealing with breathing problems. They're still young, so they don't really suffer from any heart problems. Usually, they need to be reanimated because they have trouble breathing.
For example, when it's summer, it's really hot, and they jump into a cold lake.
For example.
But our patient today is Paul, not Kevin. Paul has to be taken into the helicopter while he's being reanimated. That's what Jill is doing right now. I'm sure you've seen that in a movie before, where someone's pushing down on a person's chest. Come on, we have to save Paul, he's not well. The CPR has amazing features. First of all, it's an extremely reliable machine. One of our test devices has been running for over 1,500 hours.
Ready?
Cutting-edge technology.
In the helicopter or in the ambulance?
In the helicopter. By the way, if you want to see what it's really like inside a rescue helicopter with an actual patient and how little space there really is, go to our channel and watch the Rendsburg film. The doctor needs to come too.
Sure.
Let's go.
The ambulance can leave now.
We need to tidy up.
Done.
I'll park. Now we're at the hospital. What's this?
It's an X-ray.
Ah, it's an X-ray.
A CR can twist and turn in multiple directions. If anyone's interested in that, there's a video on YouTube. Corpuls at the cath lab. You can see how this machine works.
You can also see Marcus in his work gear.
Let's say Paul suffered a heart attack.
Yes.
Kids, do you know what a heart attack is? Do you know what a heart attack is?
A cramp of the heart muscle?
Wrong.
Then I don't know.
There are 3 large vessels that transport the oxygenated blood with all the nutrients to the heart. It can happen that one of them closes up, completely blocked, like with a cork. That's when ventricular fibrillation can occur, because the heart isn't supplied with enough blood anymore. Definitely not good. To open that coronary vessel again, the patient has to visit the cardiac cath lab. He needs to lie down on this table and then gets examined. Oh, we need a doctor. He stands here. If there's a board under this, let's say that's a board, the X-rays can't go through it. But our device solves that problem. See, it's not just black, it's carbon fiber. And the X-rays go through this material.
And because Paul's heart is still not beating, he still needs to be reanimated with the corpul's CPR, or he might die.
You can set it all up where the incident occurred, leave everything on in the helicopter, and take the patient straight to the cardiac cath lab at the hospital. What the corpulse CPR is doing right now is squeezing the heart to generate blood flow. When it goes up, the rib cage expands and the heart can fill up with blood. Then it squeezes the thorax together again and the blood flows back out, like a sponge in water. If I let go, it soaks up the water, and if I squeeze it together, I pump the water out.
When you found the cork, you basically pierced through it. How does it work?
You gain access to the veins via the wrist or the groin, and then push a very thin wire through the arm, through the chest area, and then reach the spot that you need to get to, kind of about here. Over this thin wire, you then slide a catheter at the end of which there is a little balloon. Then the balloon isn't filled with air, but with a liquid. By doing so, you inflate the coronary vessel that is clogged up, and the blood can flow again.
Let's assume we didn't have the corpul's CPR. That would mean we need another person here to push down on Paul's chest, who would be subject to the dangerous X-rays.
I've done that many times.
I can see that.
Also, my hands obviously aren't transparent to radiation. If you took an X-ray of the chest, my hands would have always been in the picture. And on top of that, to pump really consistently with just your hands is impossible.
If we're lucky, we'll get Paul back on his feet. He won't be jumping off the table cheering.
That will take some time.
He needs to stay at the hospital, but without people like Jack and Jill, Paul wouldn't be alive. Simple as that. That's why ambulance services and emergency doctors
and nurses
are extremely important people who are doing an incredible job. And if you're interested in helping in this area of work, then please check your local area and volunteer. Bye.
I clap whenever I want.
You can clap whenever you want. You don't have to.
I clap whenever I want.
You can clap whenever you want and wherever you want. It's your decision.
Technically, I could just fly there and take them with me.
Special effects. This is Paul. Paul's not feeling well and faints.
Why am I on the right? In all of our videos, I'm always on the left. In the car, I sit on the left. Why can't you go to the right?
Why are you standing anyway?